Hi, and welcome to another entry in our vlog for our 53 Ford Customline. Today we're fixing one of the brakes. We're going to put new hardware and everything on there. Down here we have the brake shoes, and we have the wheel cylinder and a star, what is it?
Adjusting screw?
A star adjusting screw.
Yeah.
And all the tools we need to put this back together.
So we have two pads, and one of them's for the front, one of them's for the back of this front drum. And
how do you know which one is for which?
To find out, we'll go to the other side.
Really?
And we'll take a look at, I left the old brakes together on one side so I could take a picture of them and so that I could reference them. So this one looks like it goes on the back, and then this pad is shorter. This goes on the front. So the shorter, the shoe with the shorter pad goes on the front. And also of note, this spring right here interferes with the movement of the star screw. I'm not sure that's the original screw or spring or if it's from an adapted kit. The back spring right here goes underneath the front spring, and that's important too. So now we could go back to the other side. So the shorter pad was in front, and we'll get the hardware to hold it in place. So there's a hole in the backing plate right here, and then we put the screw with a little cap on there. And this is one of the more annoying things about drum brakes, trying to get it on, and I just realized I skipped a step.
Okay. We have to remove the wheel cylinder before we can do anything else.
Okay, so we'll use it's a 1/2 inch line. There's so much dirt back there, I was not able to get the brake line right here to unscrew from this while it was in the car.
So there's a brake line attached to the back of the...
Yeah, a rubber line that's flexible.
The back of the brake?
Yes.
Okay.
I already took one screw out. And maybe it'll be loose enough to pull out now. I'll see right there, and it's not in good shape.
Oh, it's really rusted.
Yeah, there's so much gunk on here that I wasn't able to figure out how to get to it and to unscrew it. And at this point, since we're not going to use that line, it's easier just to cut it. So I'm back with the knife, and I'm just going to cut this because we're not going to reuse it, and it's in bad shape, and this is so rusted that it's hard to see where the nut is on the line. So
yeah.
This is the old wheel cylinder, and then we'll match it up, make sure it looks the same, and then put the new one in. Clean this up a little bit, get some of the dirt out. You want to use a special cleaner when you clean this. They have a formula specifically for brakes that won't leave behind a residue that will catch fire on you when it heats up.
That would be bad.
Yeah, that would be bad if it caught fire on you. So I left a little grease on here since it was going to be exposed. Hey, will ya?
We have one of our cat helpers.
Yes. So now we could put the new wheel cylinder in. I'm going to leave the cap in because the hydraulics are going to be a different episode. And we have new hydraulic lines, new tubes, so we'll deal with that later.
Basically a whole new brake system.
Yeah.
And you had the drums for these brakes ground, right?
Yeah. One of the brakes was not turnable. It couldn't be resurfaced. But I was able to find a junkyard that had a replacement drum. It took a few tries, but we finally got the right size and one that was good to turn. And we have those replaced. I cleaned those up with brake cleaner too. Get rid of any metal shavings in there. Doesn't have to be too tight, because if you over tighten it, you could break the little screws. They're not real big. And we'll stick these little arms back in.
What are those?
I don't know what the name is, but it pushes, it attaches to the brake shoes and pushes them out, and then the springs push them back in when you release the brakes.
Oh.
And then I try to keep my hands clean so I don't get too much grease on the shoe, which is hard to avoid. I got the brake hardware kit from 1967 Falcon. It's close, but not perfectly the same. Beneath the cat's tail is this that needs to be behind there too, or in front of there, sorry. So you put this in place, try straight, and you slide that over.
Put the spring over the pin.
Yeah.
And then you have to push the pin into the cap there on the top of the spring.
Yeah, it lines up. If you can get it to line up. And I'm having trouble with the number of hands I have. There it goes. And then you turn it so it's perpendicular, like that. And then we'll put the other one on the same way. There it goes. And you want to turn it perpendicular to the notch so that it doesn't fall out. And then here's the adjuster screw. This is the old one. They don't make the new ones anymore, so I had to do some work in breaking it loose and lubricating some of the parts. I just used high temperature grease, a small amount, don't want to put a lot on, just enough to keep it from freezing up. And to know which direction it should face, I want to verify by checking the other side. Okay, so you want this screwed in as far as it'll be able to go. I cleaned it up as much as I could with the grinder, but it still sticks a little bit. So I'm going to try it right here. And that's not fitting in. Does it fit in this side? We have a problem.
Okay.
We've run into a problem. That's that this shoe here, which is supposed to be for this vehicle, doesn't fit the original star screw notch.
The notch on the star screw is just a little bit too small for the metal on the brake pad or brake shoe. So we're going to have to make some adjustments.
Yeah, so we have two options. One is to make adjustments with the grinder to make it fit. The other option is to try a different brand. So we're going to have to figure this out now. And we'll be back. Thank you.